In Atlanta, Georgia, Marcus Ellison had become a familiar face in his wife's videos without ever wanting to be. On TikTok and Instagram, Danielle Ellison called him her answered prayer, posting candlelit dinners, Sunday church selfies, and soft-spoken clips about loyalty, marriage, and black love. Strangers called them inspiring. Women wrote that they wanted a husband like Marcus. Men said Danielle was proof good wives still existed. Yet every night after the ring lights switched off, their house went strangely cold. Danielle barely spoke unless a camera was near. Her hugs turned into performances, and Marcus slowly began to suspect he was married to an image, not a woman. At first, he blamed work. Marcus managed operations for a logistics company near Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, and long shifts made him tired enough to doubt his own instincts. Danielle ran a fast-growing beauty and lifestyle page from home, so her days looked different. Brand calls, sponsored content, boutique events, and endless self-care appointments. She claimed she was building something for both of them. But over time, Marcus noticed a pattern that bothered him more than her distance. The sweeter Danielle acted online, the meaner she became in private. Whenever a post about grateful wife life went viral, she spent the evening treating him like an unwanted guest in his own house. The first real crack appeared on an ordinary Tuesday in early spring. Marcus came home early with takeout from Pascal's, hoping to surprise her. He found the dining room staged like a magazine set. Candles, flowers, wine glasses, and a carefully arranged plate she had obviously prepared for a video. Danielle stood in front of the tripod wearing a soft cream dress and smiled when she saw him. But it wasn't relief in her eyes. It was irritation. "You weren't supposed to be home yet," she snapped before quickly lowering her voice and restarting the camera. Minutes later, she uploaded a reel captioned, "Can't wait to surprise my hard-working husband tonight." Marcus sat in the kitchen eating lukewarm chicken while thousands of strangers praised the wife who had not served him a single bite. He wanted to laugh, but something about the moment stayed with him. It was not just a lie. It was how natural it came to her. Later that night, Danielle finally brought him a reheated plate and asked him to smile for a quick clip before he touched the food. "My followers love authentic moments," she said. Marcus forced a grin, but inside something shifted. He began to wonder how many of their most cherished memories had been made for an audience instead of a marriage. Weeks later, another discovery came wrapped in something small enough to miss. Danielle started wearing a gold bracelet Marcus had never seen before. When he asked about it, she said her cousin Tasha gave it to her from a boutique in Buckhead. The explanation should have ended it, but Marcus had known Tasha for years. She bought loud, oversized jewelry, never delicate pieces with engraved initials. One night, while Danielle slept, the bracelet slid toward Marcus's side of the bed. Inside the clasp, barely visible, were the letters LJ. Marcus was not LJ. He lay awake until dawn, staring at the ceiling, listening to the woman online called Faithful breathe beside him. He did not confront her then. Instead, he watched. Marcus had grown up in Decatur with a father who taught him never to swing before you see who threw the first punch. So he paid attention to details he had ignored before. Danielle locked her phone every time he entered a room. She laughed into voice notes in the garage, saying she was recording sponsorship ideas. Her girls' nights increased from once a month to twice a week. And strangely, her marriage content became even more intense. She posted throwback wedding photos, wrote long captions about choosing each other daily, and tagged Marcus like she was trying to build evidence for a lie. The next clue arrived through 12-year-old innocence. On Easter Sunday, both families gathered at Danielle's mother's house in Stone Mountain. Marcus's niece Nia scrolled through social media while adults finished dinner. Suddenly she looked up and said, "Aunt Danielle, that's your bracelet." Everyone turned. Nia held up a fitness influencer's story from a rooftop lounge. In the corner of the frame, a man lifted a champagne glass, and on his wrist was a matching bracelet engraved. Danielle snatched the phone too fast, laughed too loud, and said lots of jewelry came in sets. But Marcus caught the flash in her eyes. Fear never lies as smoothly as words do. Back home, Marcus searched the influencer's page. The man was Lionel James Carter, a local photographer and nightlife promoter who bounced between Atlanta rooftop parties, pop-up brunches, and luxury Airbnb shoots. Lionel's page was full of expensive smiles and motivational captions. He looked polished, charming, and proud of being seen. Marcus studied his stories for nearly an hour. There were no direct photos of Danielle, yet the background details became impossible to ignore. The same hotel hallway from her girls' retreat, the same candle brand from a self-care night, the same silver SUV parked behind a valet stand on evenings she claimed to be with friends. A picture formed before any confession did. Still, Marcus needed more than suspicion. He knew Danielle well enough to expect tears, denial, and a speech about insecurity if he accused her too soon. So he started quietly documenting everything. He saved stories before they disappeared. He downloaded receipts from their joint credit card. He noted dates, locations, and timestamps in a small black notebook he kept in his office bag. A pattern emerged with ugly precision. Whenever Danielle posted romantic content praising him, she was usually somewhere else within hours. The public affection was not evidence of love. It was camouflage. She was covering her tracks by making herself look too devoted to question. Then came the discovery that changed everything from bad to unforgivable. Marcus was reviewing their card statements when he found repeated payments to a content scheduling service Danielle had never mentioned. Curious, he checked her business email on the shared family laptop she forgot to sign out of. There, neatly organized in draft folders, were scheduled captions for 2 weeks in advance. Woke up thankful for my husband. Never stop dating your spouse. Marriage takes grace, but he makes it easy. Several were set to publish during exact windows when Danielle had hotel charges, rideshare trips, and dinner bills tied to Lionel's neighborhoods. She had automated devotion like a business model. Marcus sat in silence after seeing that. He was not just being betrayed. He was being used as a brand asset. Danielle had turned their marriage into content and his dignity into engagement. Yet even then, he did not break. He closed the laptop, went to the garage, and fixed the loose hinge on an old cabinet until his hand steadied. Anger wanted a loud reaction, something immediate and destructive. But Marcus understood something Danielle did not. Public lies collapse hardest when given space to stand tall first. So instead of confronting her, he began planning. If she had built a stage, he would let the truth walk onto it. The cruelest part came days later when Danielle posted a video that went viral across Black relationship pages. In it, she stood in their kitchen describing how modern women should honor a loyal husband. She called Marcus gentle, steady, and rare. Her comments filled with prayer hands and heart emojis. Friend from church sent the clip to him saying, "Bro, you won." His own mother called in tears, saying it was beautiful to see his wife speak so proudly. Marcus thanked everyone and said little. That evening, Danielle ignored him at dinner, answered 3 secret texts under the table, and left early for a brand strategy meeting, wearing Lionel's bracelet beneath her sleeve. Marcus's second major discovery came through someone Danielle never expected to matter, Lionel's ex-wife, Renee. He found her through old tag photos and saw that she now lived in Charlotte with her son. On a hunch, Marcus sent a careful message explaining only that he believed Lionel was involved with his wife and asking if any information could help confirm the truth. Renee replied the next morning with a sentence that chilled him. If his pattern hasn't changed, he's probably filming her too. They spoke by phone that night, and Renee described Lionel's habit of recording women in flattering, intimate-looking settings to reuse for brand content and leverage. Renee sent screenshots from years earlier that made Marcus's stomach turn. Lionel often gifted matching jewelry, reused hotel suites for different women, and encouraged them to post vague captions while he cropped himself out. He liked being a hidden prize, a secret powerful enough to make people reckless. Worse, he sometimes persuaded women to invest in fake projects or pay for joint ventures that never existed. Danielle was not only cheating, she was likely being played inside the affair too. For a second, Marcus felt a flicker of pity. Then he remembered the scheduled marriage posts, the lies to both families, and the way she smiled while using him as moral decoration. By now, Marcus had enough evidence for divorce. but he wanted a final answer to one question that haunted him. How long had the cheating really been happening? The answer arrived by accident when Danielle asked him to print a shipping label from her tablet. A message banner slid across the screen from Lionel. Same private room as our first time? Feels right for the anniversary. Marcus kept his face blank until she took the tablet back. Later, he checked his notes and counted backward from the date. Their anniversary, as lovers began 3 days before Marcus and Danielle's 5th wedding anniversary. The same week, she posted a tearful video about commitment. Any remaining softness left him then. Marcus booked a consultation with a family attorney in Midtown, opened a separate bank account, and moved his direct deposit without saying a word. The lawyer advised him on every legal step. Document shared assets, avoid rash confrontations, protect personal property, and communicate clearly once ready. Marcus followed instructions with the same calm precision he used at work. He also bought a small house in South Fulton that had once belonged to his late father's friend, a place he had admired for years. He furnished it slowly, quietly, paying from funds Danielle had never bothered to notice because she assumed he would always remain exactly where she left him. The most painful discovery came not from technology, but from memory. Marcus realized Danielle had been rewriting their history in real time. She often reposted old clips from their first years together, framing them as current love when those were the actual days he had felt close to her. She sold nostalgia as present tense. He found himself grieving not only the marriage, but also the honest version of Danielle he once believed existed. Had she ever loved him without an audience? Or had he simply met a woman who preferred admiration to intimacy? The answer no longer mattered for the divorce, but it mattered for his heart, and it settled there like a stone. Then Danielle made one last mistake, bold enough to become the centerpiece of Marcus's plan. She announced online that she was hosting a family gratitude dinner to celebrate love, growth, and exciting news. She wanted both sides of the family present the following Sunday at their house in West Midtown. Marcus almost laughed. She had accidentally handed him the perfect stage. He agreed enthusiastically, even helping her plan the menu. Fried catfish, baked macaroni, greens, sweet potatoes, cornbread, peach cobbler. She seemed relieved by his cooperation, assuming his silence meant blindness. Instead, Marcus spent a week organizing documents into a clean leather folder and loading digital backups onto a flash drive. He also made one carefully chosen invitation Danielle knew nothing about. Marcus contacted Renee again and asked whether she still had legal contact information for Lionel due to child support matters. She did. Marcus sent a formal message to Lionel, brief and cold. You should attend dinner Sunday at 6:30 if you care about your reputation. Your name will be discussed with proof. Marcus did not know whether Lionel would come, but he knew narcissistic men hate not controlling story. Either Lionel would appear in person or spend the evening panicking from a distance. Both outcomes worked. Meanwhile, Danielle posted table-setting previews and captioned them, "Family is everything." Sunday arrived warm and clear, Atlanta sunlight pouring across the kitchen tiles like nothing ugly had ever happened there. By 5:30, relatives filled the house with laughter, perfume, and aluminum trays. Danielle floated through the rooms in a sage green dress, camera-ready and glowing, greeting elders, hugging cousins, and calling Marcus baby often enough to make the performance almost impressive. She even posted a smiling selfie with the caption, "Big news tonight with the people who matter most." Marcus wore a navy button-down and moved calmly, offering drinks, checking dishes, thanking everyone for coming. His peace unsettled Danielle more than anger ever would have. She sensed something, but not enough. During dinner, Danielle remained perfectly on script. She touched Marcus's shoulder when she laughed, asked his mother for a greens recipe, and thanked God for covenant love before everyone bowed their heads. Marcus's younger brother Jamal noticed him watching quietly and gave him a questioning look, but Marcus only nodded. Halfway through the meal, a late knock sounded at the front door. Danielle froze. Marcus excused himself, opened it, and found Lionel standing there in a blazer, pretending confusion and confidence at the same time. "Got your message," Lionel said under his breath. Marcus stepped aside with a polite smile and invited him in as Danielle's fork slipped from her hand. The room changed instantly. Some relatives recognized Lionel from social media. Others just felt tension move like electricity. Danielle stood so fast her chair scraped the floor. "Why is he here?" she asked, voice too thin to sound outraged. Marcus closed the door, returned to the table, and raised his glass. "Actually," he said, "this makes the evening easier." His calm forced everyone into silence. He thanked both families for showing up and told them Danielle had wanted the night to celebrate truth, love, and family. "I agree with 2 of those things," he said. Then he reached beneath his chair, lifted the leather folder, and placed it beside his plate. "For months," Marcus began, "my wife has been teaching strangers online how to be faithful while being unfaithful in real life." Danielle immediately tried to interrupt, but he held up one hand and kept speaking. "I'm not asking anyone to choose sides tonight. I'm only asking you to look at facts." He passed copies down both sides of the table. Screenshots, timestamps, hotel bills, rideshare records, matching jewelry photos, and printed pages from the scheduling app showing loving posts arranged in advance while she was with Lionel. Every page was labeled by date. Every date told the same story. One by one, forkfuls paused, eyes widened, and the room forgot dessert existed. Danielle tried the predictable defense first. She said the messages were fake, the charges misunderstood, the jewelry coincidental, Lionel merely a business contact. Marcus nodded like a man indulging bad theater. Then he connected his laptop to the television in the living room. On screen appeared Danielle's content calendar, still logged in under her business account. A scheduled post for the next morning read, "Still in awe of the way my husband protects my heart." Marcus clicked another tab, a hotel receipt from the very night that post had been written. Then another, Lionel's message calling their affair an anniversary. Gasps came from every corner. Danielle's mother covered her mouth and sat down hard. Lionel, sensing the room collapse around him, tried stepping into charm. He claimed Danielle had told him the marriage was over, that Marcus already knew, that things were complicated. Marcus turned toward him for the first time with visible contempt. "You should be careful," he said evenly, "because the woman you risked your name for wasn't even honest with you." He handed Lionel another sheet, evidence that Danielle had been sending money from her sponsorship income into a secret account while telling Lionel she was ready to invest in one of his fake production ventures. Lionel scanned the page, then looked at Danielle as realization replaced swagger. Even her affair had been built on lies. That twist hit the room like a second explosion. Danielle had deceived her husband, yes, but she had also been promising Lionel access to money and connections she did not truly control. Lionel cursed under his breath and took a step back as if betrayal smelled bad. Marcus almost found the moment poetic. The 2 people who had treated deceit like strategy were now discovering they had both been trying to outfake each other. Danielle's face changed from defiance to panic. For the first time that night, she was not performing for followers, family, or a lover. She was simply a cornered woman watching every version of herself collapse at once. Then Marcus delivered the part he had saved for last. He slid an envelope across the table toward Danielle. Inside were divorce papers already filed, along with a notice that her access to the joint accounts had been removed and the house would be sold under terms approved by his attorney. "I moved out emotionally months ago," he said. "Legally, I started last week." He let that settle before continuing. "And tomorrow morning, the brands you represent will receive a copy of your public marriage claims beside the evidence showing they were knowingly false." Danielle's whole online persona, built on honesty, devotion, and Black family values, would become unusable overnight. It was cruel, but not careless. Marcus was not trying to ruin her life beyond repair. He was making sure the life she built through fraud could no longer feed on his name. Danielle reached for his arm, tears finally arriving, but he stepped away before she touched him. Her phone began buzzing across the table. At first she ignored it. Then Jamal glanced at the screen and let out a bitter laugh. Family members, church friends, and followers were already reacting because one cousin had gone live during the reveal before Marcus asked him to stop. The same internet Danielle used to polish herself was now stripping her image raw in real time. Marcus looked around the room at both families, at the half-finished plates and stunned faces, and he felt something surprising. Not triumph, but release. He thanked everyone for coming and apologized that the truth had ruined dinner, though he said lies would have ruined far more if left alone. Then he picked up his keys and one small overnight bag he had placed by the hallway earlier. "There is no exciting news," he said, glancing at Danielle one final time. "Only accurate news." He told his mother he loved her, nodded to Danielle's father, and walked to the door. Behind him, Danielle called his name. He did not turn around. Marcus drove south through the Atlanta night to the quiet house waiting in South Fulton, the one no audience knew about. In the days that followed, Danielle's pages went dark, sponsors cut ties, Lionel publicly denied her, and both families kept their distance while the divorce moved forward. The cruelest revenge was not shouting, violence, or humiliation for its own sake. It was precision. Marcus had let Danielle keep performing until the exact moment the stage collapsed beneath her. She spent months pretending to be a loving wife online and a faithless wife in real life. In the end, one family dinner changed everything because truth finally arrived with receipts. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.